Love it.
You love it. All right. So you've got someone already saying hello to you. This is Sean.
How's it going? Sean? How you doing? How we doing?
So Jeremy is coming. He's having a little trouble connecting, but that's all right. It's per the norm.
Technical difficulties. Yep.
Yeah.
Always something.
Yeah. So I want you to meet our producer for All Access Network Television. This is Gwen Johns. You've met her before, but now while she was at work, here she is.
Hey, Gwen,
Hey, Connor.
how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Excited to get it going tonight and get to meet Jeremy for the first time and pick his brain a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fantastic. So what do you want your hashtags to be? This is your first go. So what do you think?
Let's see. Hashtag first show.
Hashtag first
First
show.
podcast. I guess that might be. Let's see.
So what would you like to have as a banner scroll across the bottom? Something fun to think about.
Yeah.
There's that one. Ba-da-ba-dum.
Yeah.
First
I
show,
like
first
that.
podcast. All right. So this is called Drawn to Film.
Yes.
I think that should be our scroll across the bottom. Boom and boom. Welcome everybody to Drawn to Film. This is Connor, and he loves all things to do with drawing, anime, movies, behind the scenes, stunts, comics, special effects. I mean, all the fun stuff. He likes collectibles, comic books, as you can see behind him there.
Yes,
on the wall.
Tons of artwork that I've done. I love Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and there's a video game based on it. And I made some of the sprite characters out of perler beads. I made Nibbler from Futurama, one of my favorite cartoons. I got my hockey team logo, Sonic the Hedgehog, Mega Man from the Nintendo, one of my first games I ever played. And then I got Scyther from Pokemon, one of my favorite Pokemon as well. And then I got some more artwork back there. Some of it concerts, some of it animation, but and there's tons more I haven't got posted around this office yet.
So tell me a little bit about what you experienced at the South Carolina Comic-Con.
Oh, this year was amazing.
Huge, yes.
It did feel a little bit tamer this year, but it has grown to be, honestly, I'd put it on par with HeroCon almost up in Charlotte.
Charlotte, yes.
That level, especially with the broad scope of talent. Was it Vincent D'Onofrio was there? You had Tara Strong there.
So for our listeners and viewers, tell me who they are.
So Tara Strong is one of the most prolific voice actors. Definitely, any and everybody should know who she is in some way, shape, or form. She got started on work on Batman the Animated Series back in the 90s, and worked her way up to being a lead on the Powerpuff Girls in like 97 or 99 as Bubbles.
Yeah.
She's Raven from Teen Titans, which a lot of people were into. She was Ben from Ben 10.
Really?
Yes.
Hey, Connor, put the camera down a little bit so that we can see you. You look like Kilroy. I just see your eyes and nose. There you go. Yeah. Are you looking at the monitor? Are you?
I'm looking at y'all. I got two monitors. I got y'all are over to the left, and then I got my main monitor over on the right.
Gotcha. Okay, so look at
the
main.
Move that.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's better.
Now we get to see. Now we
this
see
thing keeps
you.
Dropping on me.
There you go.
You've
even got that. Look at you. That sounds fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, I got it about 5 years ago. I decided, because I was making music at the time, I decided to get an audio interface coupled with a cardioid microphone And then I did voice acting with this, and then I'd have like this massive thing draped across the back.
I was going to ask you about voice acting because I did a tryout basically with a voice acting company, and I got accepted.
Fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And somebody that is a good friend of mine that's done voice acting for years, he was mostly Santa Claus, who's got that big, deep, booming, voice.
Oh, yeah.
And
really deep
voice. And he did a voiceover for a business and got $1,500.
Oh, wow.
2 or 3 days. Boom. Yeah.
Yeah. And it can happen just like that. I mean, you can, if you can keep them going, it can be really, really solid, steady form of income.
Maybe you should consider it.
I took a step away. I was doing it for a while, and I got into a couple of roles, and I want to get back into it. Kind of finally getting free time to be able to put that back to the forefront again.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we could talk more about that. So you got to see the opener of our shows, and you saw all the other podcasters. We've got about 10. We've got a lot of things going on with the network. Okay. Gwen is the producer for all of them.
We appreciate you very much.
Yes, we appreciate you greatly.
We have great people too. We're like a little family. So
yeah, you know what? Sean, I know you're working. You're watching. Why don't you come in the back door and come talk to Connor a little bit? Jeremy will be here in a minute. He sent me a message. He's coming.
Here, let me cut the air down just a tad bit. It's a bit warm in here. Sorry.
Oh. Bless you, baby. Come here. Man, he can't see me. Can you get him?
Oh, is he?
He's just walking around. He's doing
wandering.
Just wandering, but he's sneezing, so I know he's wanting something. You know how he does.
Well, he was in here a minute ago.
Oh, Sean.
Sean's coming. You coming, Sean?
I don't see him.
He might. He
may
need
to might have to take a second. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what's happened with Jeremy too. So I'll save his bio for that. So Gwen's been doing All Access Network television for not quite a year. It's more like just a few months.
Well, since day one. Me and you since day one, girl.
Okay, so Sean is driving. He said, I'm driving right now. Give me a few. But yes, don't be doing anything like that while you're driving.
Definitely not.
Please.
Please be safe.
Yeah. So you like your opener?
Yes, love it.
I thought it was great too. I just love it. So, so we were talking a bit about it when I was putting it together for you. And we were talking about doing stuntmen, where people that are stuntmen that have done some really.
That would be awesome. It's funny you say that.
Exactly.
I'm looking at. I've been trying to reach out to one that actually did work for Nick, back like in some of these crazy shows that they had in the 90s. I think like Legends of the Hidden Temple and stuff like that. I'm trying to reach out. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky. So this is going to be your bucket list. Well, the thing is, we already know some people. Bill Perry.
I'm about to message him now.
Here we go. Drum roll. Connor's bucket list. Dun, dun, dun. So Bill Perry. Let me see if I can get a good picture of Mr. Bill Perry. He's a lot of fun. I didn't know who he was until I met him and found out all the stuff he did. Then I realized, oh, I know exactly who he was. He was Corey Feldman in License to Drive. He was in Freddy Krueger. He was Freddy, Oh, sick. Yeah, he's done so many stunts. He was in Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. He was the kid hanging by the edge of the window trying to peer up and see her, Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that was him. He fell a long way for that. Yeah, let's see. What else did he do? God, there's so many things that
a lot. I can't remember all of them.
Yeah.
Elvira.
He was in Predator 2. He was in Elvira. Yes. He was in Lost Boys. Okay. Yeah, he was in Predator. the guy that played the Predator, his name is William. He said, "Sorry, I had to kill you. All the best. Love, Kevin Predator." Predator 2. Let me see if I can get this for you. So this is the kind of stuff that he keeps to himself. And then all of a sudden, when you think you know the guy, something else rolls out about him. And I'm like, are you
Well, that's the kind of person I like, though.
serious?
They always got a story on the back of their tongue.
That's him. That is absolutely him. So Bill Perry will be your guy. And we have some others
messaging
too.
him now.
Yep. So
actually,
this is the premiere episode, guys. So you get to see all the planning as it's happening. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I'm getting the Predator picture loaded up for you so you can see what I'm talking about. It's just too cool.
I used to be able to do the noise for it back when I was a kid. It's so hard. It's so weird.
Sound.
Yeah, it's like
there's somebody.
It's almost like you kind of like growl.
All right. So here's Bill. There he is. This is the picture of William with the Predator.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is the picture of live Jeremy Cotter. Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, how you doing?
I can't see you guys. Can you see me?
Yes, we see you, buddy. All right. So I'm going to run. Well, he went away.
He couldn't see it. He's going to pop out.
Yeah, he'll be back. So I'm going to play this again when he comes back. He has a hard time being seen. He's just got some technical things. He said that he had to connect several times last time, and that's fine. So this is definitely going to be fun.
Yes, I cannot wait.
He messaged. Let's see. I think he thinks he's got technical problems, but he said, "I'm going to try again. I couldn't see anyone. We saw you."
Okay.
Oh, can you share the post link for it for the live feed so I can send it to one of my friends?
I'm doing yes,
awesome.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So that's Mr. Bill Perry. I'm going to put some pictures here while we're waiting on him to connect. Oh, I heard him. That's Sean. Yay.
Oh,
Sean
that was quick.
Yep, super quick. So this is Jeremy when he was in costume, and he's coming back in. There he is. Let's give him a second for it to connect. Okay, you're here. We hear
Hey,
you.
welcome back.
And here is Sean. We have a full house. Yes, I will be leaving the show about 15 minutes early. Gwen will be closing it because I have Dr. Jody Noe coming on the show. I hope that all of you will please stay for that show because we're doing a special with Family Spirit Supernatural. Family Spirit International is a special edition with Dr. Jody Noe. Who's also the vice chief of the South Carolina Cherokee, Southern Iroquois, and United Tribes, South Carolina. Cool. She's covering the missing and murdered Indigenous women. And now it's in missing, murdered Indigenous people because they're also stealing men, children, babies. There was one child that was 1 year old and one lady that was 87. Did you know that the number 3 most reasons for an indigenous woman to die is murder?
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
It's not that bad. So we're going to be covering that. I would like to play the intro. I know you can't see it, Jeremy, but you can go back after the show and see it because I made a really good trailer for you. I'm going to play it again since you're on. Here it is.
Cool.
So there's the trailer, and everybody could see pictures of you as the outpatient.
Oh my God.
Y'all, I'm just going to say this dude is one big man. Okay. I'm 5'9", and when I stood by him, I really
How
felt
tall
safe.
are you?
I'm about 6'3.5". Yeah, about
Yeah,
6'3".
but his shoulders are super broad. He's big dude. He's big dude.
Yeah,
And
I'm about 400 pounds, so yeah, I'm a big guy. Yeah.
yeah, but you're
Okay.
solid. You're solid. It's like a wall.
There you go.
Yeah. And he's so gentle. I mean, his spirit is so loving and gentle. I really have to know more about how in the bloody devil did you pull off being that raging outpatient? Right. How did you do
You know,
that?
it was really hard because when I was younger, I was like a really meek and mild kid. I
I see
love
that.
professional wrestling, and then around like 1991, I went to the wrestling school. My dad got me into the wrestling school in Boston, and yeah, it was quite a scary experience because the first day they beat the ever living heck out of you. I mean,
I
they want to
figured
see
it
if
was.
you're,
I
what's that?
figured it was like that. I figured it was very similar to boot camp plus because all the stunt things you have to do. Because if you
Well,
don't know how to do them, you're going to kill yourself.
not just that, but on your first day, they literally hammer on you to see if you're actually brave enough or stupid enough to come back the next day. I mean, they want to try to weed you out, even though you paid your money.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
because
That
I
makes
started
sense.
I started in the early '90s with Killer Kowalski out of Boston, and you had to be tough in order to be in that school. And I didn't know how tough I was because I really didn't live that kind of lifestyle. So when I went there, and I learned how to be a wrestler. I came up with this crazy character, the outpatient, this escaped mental patient, because I could get my aggressions out in
Yeah.
the ring in front of people, but it was like me dialed up to 10,
Yeah.
and
A healthy
it,
form of aggression. I get it. As opposed to breaking and entering. Yes, I understand.
it's crazy. I mean, I did the character off and on for the better part of 20 years plus, so it was definitely a journey, to say the least.
I can only imagine. So, just not to take away from what we're talking about with you, but just to draw a
Yeah.
parallel, Sean here was a cage fighter.
Oh
Did they
wow.
do you the same way?
Oh yeah. As soon
When
as
you
you come
started
into the gym, yeah, as soon as you come into the gym, they use medicine balls. They dropped them in your guts. Yeah, they
What?
made you dropped them in your guts. The medicine
So
balls.
it's like a cannonball, and they
Oh
drop it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you can take a
Oh.
beating, take a hit. Made you do a lot
They'd
of
have to go
pyramids.
get a mop. For me, they'd have to go get a mop. I swear, it would happen.
But a lot of the stuff that I was used to, because it's the martial arts, relates to his wrestling and the falls they do, because the same falls are in martial arts.
Well, when Bill Perry talked to me and Gwen at the Deep South Para, by the way, we will be playing that coming up at the end of the show. Deep South Para Comic-Con's coming up, and it's in Alabama in Ozark. So it's a paranormal conference, comic book conference, and horror. So all the stunt guys that did horror things, like there's a guy that was Jason and one that was Freddy Krueger, are going to be there. Some of the original Jason, the original Jason, and they actually have a horror house there. And they've got people that are in theater working on that. Here's another picture of Jeremy. I just got to pop this up. Y'all see what I mean? Look, y'all.
I wish I could see this stuff. I'm just going with the flow right now because I got a blank screen for some reason. Yeah, my phone won't let me see anybody, but that's cool.
Well, you've got hair that's awesome, hanging down onto your tongue just about, and you're leaning over with this grimace on your face, and it's like you got your tongue hanging out, and you're going, ah.
Hey, you can see me, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You want? I can put something into the frame if you actually want to see it.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Can you see this guy?
Oh gosh,
oh, sick.
That's you. I love that.
My wife had this custom Funko Pop made for me for Christmas last year.
Awesome.
His wife is like the best.
Yep, and he stands right next to the plaque that you showed the picture to me that you found earlier, my Wrestling Hall of Fame plaque that I got. So
yeah. I showed everyone that, but I'm going to do an overlay for that too, because I know everybody wants to see this. I mean, what was it like having that arena? You know what I'm saying? Having all those people there to see you, and because I went to one time. Now this was the early 80s. I was young, and I took my grandma, which is hilarious. Here she was going to the Pentecostal Holiness Church, and here we are at this wrestling thing, and she was screaming as loud as me. We saw Two-Ton Harris and Ricky Steamboat, the Hawaiian guy.
Yep.
Oh God, and I was screaming and yelling, and the wrestler would go, "Ah," because he had him in some sort of arm bar, right? And the whole audience would go, "Ah," back at him. He would, "Ah." It was
Two-Ton Harris. I haven't heard that name in a little while. He actually became Kamala the Ugandan Giant, actually.
Really?
Yes, he did.
And I do have another story about wrestling, and you're going to think this is hilarious.
Sure.
When I was little, my dad was doing special personal appearances in Asheville. Dad wrestled alligators for Tarzan movies and stuff. And he was in Asheville speaking to children in schools about, the value of their education. And, doing the right thing, and all the people that he had met, and how teachers had given him the opportunity to be where he was. But anyway, back to it. So we were there, and we were staying in the same hotel as Andre the Giant.
Oh, wow.
And I live in a town that has 2 red lights. And, when we got a Dollar General, everybody had to get in the car and ride out there to look at it, because, that was going to be like our Walmart. We're like 30 minutes from civilization. When they have traffic stops, everybody gets in the car with their driver's license and drives out to the traffic stop for license test. It's bad. We had a snake get in our transformer, and it blew half the town's power. I mean, it's really small. So when we went to Asheville, I was in Chicago, right? And I rode on the elevator on Andre the Giant's, my first elevator on Andre the Giant's shoulder. And it scared me so bad, because he picked me up and whipped me up there. I'd never been on an elevator. And when he pulled me up there, that was really tall. And I had to lean way over, like that. Yeah. And Ric Flair was in the TV studio green room, and Dad was out filming, and I was left with him, and he was trying to entertain me. God bless the man. And he was getting a cup of coffee, and I wanted a cup of coffee. I want one, Mr. Rick. And he got a carton of milk and poured a little bit of his coffee and some sugar in there. And I was drinking it with a straw. And that was my first cup of coffee. And Gwen can tell you I'm a coffeeholic, and it's all because of Ric Flair.
Okay.
We'll
take that. Yeah.
That's all I got. That's all I got. That's all I got about the, wrestling thing for me. But we've got a cage fighter and a wrestler. But okay, Connor, your show, premiere show. You got questions? He's got answers.
I do. Jeremy, tell me.
He dropped. Okay, so you can talk to Sean.
Seconds.
Yeah, talk to Sean, because
How's
with him being
Sean?
He's got a cage fighting background. He can help you out.
Tell me a little bit. I'll ask you this, and then I'll ask him. Tell me about how improv played into like each of the matches that you were a part of. Like, what was that like? Question. Just trying to improvise on the spot, and if something went wrong, like how you would mitigate it and keep the crowd engaged.
Actually, it was all live and it was real. When I was cage fighting, there is no preset. Everything was
gotcha.
You actually got hit. You didn't get potatoed like they do in wrestling or anything like that. You actually got hit. There was no improvs.
God dang. So
how was the recovery on each of those hits? I can't imagine like getting smacked and dazed.
We wore MMA gloves, which you see now. They're a little bigger than what we had, because we had like less than 5 ounces. Taped our knuckles like boxers, and even put a piece of rubber in them so we didn't break our fingers. But then they taped our wrist up and the whole 9 yards, and it was like getting hit with a concrete block.
Oh, I bet. God.
Oh yeah.
What was the biggest guy you ever had to go up against?
My guy that I would always train with was like 6'1", 6'2", and actually the day I was or about 3 days before I was supposed to fight the Iowa State champ, he took me in a hip toss, and I wrapped my leg around his to keep him from hip throwing, and blew out my knee. So it took me a while to come back. All I heard was pop, pop, and it swelled up about the size of a melon.
Oh, I bet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
And then I came back after that, and I ended up having a title shot, and I took the title shot and retired the belt when I was 37.
I don't blame you. That sounds. I can't imagine like getting hit in the head and then having to recover mid-fight, like actually hit full force.
Yeah, when you get hit, it's actually you're getting hit. It's not like you're pulling punches and doing the sets for like you do in wrestling, even though we know how to do things like that. Because like I said, a lot of the falls that I was taught in martial arts is the same falls they use in wrestling.
Oh, wow. Okay. What kind of martial arts did you do?
I had a year of Taekwondo. I had about 13 years of Kuk Sool Won, and I had about 8 or 9 years of mixed martial arts. And
oh wow, that's awesome. I did a little bit of Taekwondo myself for about like 3-4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very interesting time. I wanted to get into karate, but it's all offense. So I was more about wanting to defend myself than go on the attack. I didn't want to start fights.
True.
What was one of the coolest venues you got to perform at?
One of the arenas?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't fight in a big arenas. I fought like what they called league wrestling. It's like the ones they do in town, but I actually went to Amsterdam up in Rock Island at the time. And some of the UFC fighters were up there at that place at the time, and I got to meet some of them. And yeah, that was an interesting night.
I bet. What did y'all do?
That was the first night that I actually was in the cage because I hadn't fought since high school. So I decided we're going to cut my teeth, which is get a first fight, get back into the swing of things. And we were kind of skimming the crowd because it was like volunteers could actually fight. You know, they could come up out of the crowd as long as they signed the waivers and stuff. And you'd have fighters come from other schools and stuff like that, other martial arts places and stuff. And we seen this one guy. He's about the same size as me. It's like, okay, we'll try this out. We ended up signing the contract right before the match, and we got in the cage. And first thing he did, he threw a roundhouse kick, and I grabbed a hold of it. And I put him in a DDT right off the bat and slammed his head into the mat. And I thought I was going to get him in a front guillotine, which is a front chokehold, and his head pounced out after it hit the mat.
Whoops.
So then I was on the defense mode, and the Velcro on our gloves, evidently he must have gazed me good, and it split my eyebrow toward the end of the round. And once you get your eyebrow split, it's hard to get it to stop bleeding. But
he's back.
I don't know. My internet is acting really ridiculous. I apologize for the delays here.
You're fine.
It's been like this everywhere. So tell us a little bit.
I'm sitting here talking to you. I heard you telling me you're under the Giants, and all of a sudden it just went bloop. I'm like, what the hell?
Well, Connor has a question for you. He's asked Sean. So
please.
I was asking Sean a couple of these, and I wanted to get your take as well.
Okay.
Did you? He was telling me all the hits were like legit back then in wrestling. I didn't know.
You got to remember, I cage fought, not wrestled.
Oh, yeah. True.
Yeah,
true.
Cage fighting is different than wrestling.
Yeah, so that's
cage
like actual MMA fighting.
Yep.
Okay, got you. That makes.
I'll be honest with you. When I learned how to answer your question, when I learned how to wrestle in the school, I mean, Kowalski's guys were tougher than other guys. We used to we used to have to lay it in pretty good. I mean, it wasn't obviously the shoot fighting like the MMA cage fighting is, and I respect all of that too, because God forbid, it's all intertwined, even though wrestling is more of an entertainment-based combat sport versus like boxing and MMA or actual combat, but it's all interlinked with each other. I mean, wrestlers have trained with MMA guys have made the conversion over to professional wrestling to add years to their careers and or their lives for that matter too. But there's risks and everything. I mean, you see how many wrestlers get injured on a consistent basis nowadays. The injured list, even in like the WWE and AEW and all the other conglomerates, is getting bigger by the day because these people are taking bigger and bigger risks just to entertain the people who are there. So, it's. I've been hit for real. I've had to return in kind because people weren't paying attention to what was going on. So, yeah.
I think you call those receipts, don't you?
Oh yes, I agree. And sometimes, I wasn't big on doing that because I just enjoyed entertaining people. But for sometimes you get somebody in there who's a little too stiff, and you gotta remind them that, hey, just because you can be stiff to me doesn't mean that I'm not going to return it. So yeah, receipts used to go quite a bit. That's for sure.
Tell me about improv. Like whenever you get into a situation where something didn't go the right way, how would you improv on the spot and like be able to like keep crowd engaged?
Oh, for me, it was simple because like my first part of my career, I learned how to do all the moves and how to put them all together and how to coordinate matches and how to make it look good. After about year 5, I concentrated on character development and what my character would do in any situation. So say that a guy missed a move and instead of the crowd paying attention to him, I'd jump out of the ring and get in somebody's face and just get the whole crowd all fired up. And I would just work my way around and I could like scream and yell and try to attack people, maybe scare the referee, get him out of the ring, anything to distract from what was going on so that we could get back on track. It worked. It was easy for me because the character was so wild that I could do stuff that didn't make any sense. And even if I missed something, which was not very often, but if I did, I just covered up with a few screams and a choke and maybe an eye gouge or something like that. Just to keep the people going.
That's all.
Yeah, no big deal.
So they didn't do this, the Three
Stooges. The character was just so unpredictable that I could do anything. I could go out, sit in the front row, and steal somebody's popcorn and just sit there eating it, and nobody would think twice about it just because my guy was just so crazy. So I could get away with stuff. Cool.
Yeah, that had to be a unique part to be able to play. That sounds like a lot of fun to be able to have that much freedom to be able to explore the character.
Absolutely. That's the one thing I can definitely say. All the organizations that I worked for, they gave me open range as far as character development and to do what I wanted to do because they knew that I wasn't going to go out there and poison the product, so to speak. I wasn't going to go out there and make it look stupid. You can be creative and keep it respectable. You can also, you can engage the people without making them feel like they're stupid. I don't like when wrestlers think that the crowd is stupid because these people know just as much about the inner workings nowadays as even the guys, even the wrestlers, the boys and girls in the locker rooms are just pretty much on the same level as the fans as far as the knowledge, because everything's out there for the world to see via all the internet and the streaming services and all the behind the scenes things that are like my personal favorite thing to watch on TV nowadays is the Dark Side of the Ring. Have you seen that series that's on True TV?
Yes, I was going to ask you about.
I've never heard of that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. The Dark Side of the Ring. It's actually it's through Vice TV. I think it's Vice TV, but they get into some of the darker stories of some of the wrestlers of days gone by, like your Jake the Snake Robertses, your Junkyard Dogs, Abdul the Butchers, the Bruiser Brody murders, the Chris Benoit murders from the, and everything in between. The XPW out of California, even like ECW and Sandman and all those guys. It covers a lot of the controversial wrestlers and all the stuff behind the scenes you never knew about. Like, oh my God, I feel bad for some of these wrestlers, and for some of them, I don't even know. It's
I did
Doink
make
the Clown, Matt Bourne. if you know who Doink the Clown is, Matt Bourne, his episode of the Dark Side of the Ring is one of the darkest and most twisted ones you could ever imagine. It really, really is. And I think if you ever want to see something that's a little bit off the beaten path with wrestling, definitely check out that series. That series is really eye opening.
Hey,
I'll
Connor,
definitely take a look at that.
Go to the private chat. I got you some things I needed to send you because I'm going to be bolting out of here in 5.
You're good.
I made a mistake and went on YouTube and looked for, injuries in the wrestling ring. And there was this one girl, her hand, her arm was like, it was broken here, and it had rotated around. She's screaming, and the girl that was in the ring with her was like, "Oh my God," I saw. So I don't want any part of that conversation. When I leave is the best time. But what is the funniest thing that ever happened to you in the ring? I just want to ask that before I have to bolt out. I've got to go to another show.
The funniest thing for me. Oh my! I mean, one time I told the people in the front row to throw chairs into the ring, and I must have had like 50 chairs in the damn ring all at one time. It was like they relived a moment from ECW when Cactus Jack and Terry Funk told them to throw all the chairs in the ring. I was like, and I yelled, "Throw me a chair!" And next thing you know, all these plastic folding chairs just came flying in. I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not going to relive this moment." I jumped the hell out of the ring. But no, that was funny,
Oh, that's not good.
That's awesome.
Somebody sent in a birthday clown because they found out it was my birthday, and they sent in a clown in the ring, and I beat the hell out of the clown. So I mean, that I think that was funny for the people in the ring.
That's a good one too. I miss it. I miss going. Maybe I'll go now. We'll see. Well, I'm going to duck out. I'll see you guys next go. Jeremy, I've missed talking to you. Thank you for being our premiere.
Yeah, we'll have to talk again soon. That's for sure.
Okay.
I'll see you soon.
Connor, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes.
Freaking chairs in the ring, man. That's awesome.
Did you see the private chat, Connor?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool.
I was going to ask. So tell me, what arena was your favorite to perform in, and what was your least favorite to perform in?
I think my personal favorite. There were a few in Boston that we used to run like TV tapings out of and stuff, but like my personal when I got in the ring was probably the Knickerbocker Arena in Albany, New York. I got to work for the WWF doing like TV, doing like enhancement talent stuff back in the mid '90s, and just getting a chance to be part of that organization at that point was even really cool. I've been in some real dives, but there was like a show that I did at a freaking car dealership in Connecticut, which it sounds funny, but I mean they had a good sized crowd, but the goddamn ring was like about a quarter of a mile from the actual locker rooms, and it was like 90 degrees outside. So by the time you got to the ring, you were pouring and sweating. You were already blown the hell up, and I had to wrestle Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's younger brother, Vic Steamboat. We had to do like a 20-minute match, and the ring was so hot that when you hit it, it felt like you were being cooked, and it was really bad. I mean, the canvas was well over 110 degrees, so every time you landed on it, it was like, oh my God, my arm's burnt. Oh God, thank God I wore I used to wear like ripped up street clothes and stuff, so it didn't make a difference. I was like covered from like my back and stuff, but I remember getting like just it felt like contact burns from just landing on the mat because that's how hot it was outside. My God, that was bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like walking barefoot out on the concrete in a sweltering day.
Dude, I would rather wrestle in a couple of inches of snow than freaking 110-degree heat. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, 100%. I don't doubt it. Yeah, when it's hot and then it's humid on top of it, it is the worst.
Yeah, that and there was an arena that I did a NWA reunion show for down in Tampa, Florida, and that place, that crowd was like one of the hottest crowds I'd ever been in front of. Man, they were just out of control.
Oh yeah, I was actually there 2 weeks ago, and the Rays are not playing in the Tropicana right now. They're playing at the Yankees spring training field, and man, I was in the I was behind home plate, but I was in the shade, and the second I left, I could instantly feel the sweat come on. It was like it was only 87 degrees, but it was like 90% humidity, and the sun's just beaming. It's so bad, and that's just in April. That's not even. We're not even in July yet.
You know, when that percentage of humidity gets over 50%, I scream for mercy. I carry like a white flag in my back pocket and say, "No, thank you, I'm done. I don't want that shit."
Same.
I'm in Massachusetts. We get all 4 seasons in the same day. I mean, for the love of God.
Yeah,
I mean,
you do.
I've seen 60-degree
We do
weather
here
in the morning.
South too.
I've seen 60-degree weather in the morning and then snow in the afternoon, and then the sun comes out and then it starts raining. I mean, I've seen every single thing in one day.
That's
But,
yeah. I don't doubt it. I kind of I think I kind of experienced that one time when I went up to visit in New York. At least I got half of it at least. Like
yeah.
I got a taste of lake effect snow, which I've never seen in my life.
Oh, that's horrible.
Miserable.
You go from 0 inches to 12 inches of snow in like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
When you're up near the lake area, oh my God, they get buried alive up there. And I think I hate snow more than I hate the heat, to be honest with you. I just
Yeah, I hate driving in it.
Yeah. We've been very lucky that this last winter was not bad at all, thankfully, for snow.
No, y'all did have a good one this year.
Yeah.
Who were some of your favorite wrestlers when you were growing up?
Oh, for me, I mean, I would say Hulk Hogan for like a half a minute, but then when I got to Roddy Piper, the Macho Man Randy Savage, they were my 2 favorites of all time.
Yeah.
Big John Studd, who I was lucky enough to meet before he passed away from cancer. I never got to see Andre the Giant. I mean, I got to see Andre the Giant live, but I never got a chance to meet him in person. But Andre the Giant, when I was sitting in the front row in Boston, and he just like walking by you, and like blocked out the sun, like like Lee was saying earlier, he was everything that you thought he was, if not more. But no, Piper, Jesse the Body Ventura, I really thought was really cool. I mean, when I grew up in wrestling before I got involved was in the 80s. So all the 80s guys, Jake the Snake Roberts was probably one of the greatest minds in the wrestling business, but Ric Flair, obviously, for I think any professional wrestler or anybody who knows Flair knows how influential he has been for pop culture and everything else. I mean,
oh yeah.
I don't think I'd ever drink any of his mushroom energy drinks by any standards, but dear God, other than that. Did you ever hear about that?
Right.
His Woo Energy, which is like a mushroom based energy drink. And I'm like, how can that even taste good? I think I'd rather eat dog food than drink that crap. Yeah.
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
It's like drinking earth. You just drinking dirt.
I mean, I guess they use the mushroom extract as an energy supplement of some sort, but
yeah,
dear God, no.
No. I saw actually someone at my work when I walked in the other day. They had gotten this mushroom tea, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like, and it's actually in a tea bag, and they have mushroom extract. I'm like, I'm good. I'll pass. I'll have regular tea if I'm gonna drink it.
My wife has a couple of bags of mushroom based coffee. I guess because they make coffee with it in it too.
Did not know that. Interesting.
Yeah,
makes sense, though.
God bless people's creativity, I guess.
Cooking with mushrooms is about it. That's all for me. Thanks.
Yes, I like mushrooms in my food, not in my beverages. I'm good, thanks. No.
Amen. Yeah, portobellos and onions. That's the way I roll if I'm doing mushrooms. Who had like the greatest influence and or impact on your career as well as on your adolescence?
As far as wrestling goes, or just in general?
Yeah. Well, let's go in general. Actually.
Well, you know what? Fine. Across the board, my father. he was the reason I got into professional wrestling. He was the one who got me into my love of baseball. He and between the Red Sox and the Patriots and all that kind of stuff. But and like all of my all my early influences were based on him. And it's kind of hard for me to talk about him because I lost him last July to complications from strokes.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, and I'm coming up on the 1 year 1 year anniversary, and it's honestly they always say that time heals all wounds, but it still feels raw, But I mean, if it wasn't for him, I would never have gotten into watching wrestling when I was a kid, or getting a chance to go to see my first wrestling show, or anything of that nature, he was my biggest influence as far as just overall in general. But as far as wrestling influences, like I said, Roddy Piper, Savage. I was more of a big man type wrestler, so I loved watching like King Kong Bundy was one of my favorites. Honestly,
okay,
you know who Bundy is, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I actually get a chance to actually wrestle him twice. And
fun.
And just getting a chance to be in the ring with a guy who my mom made a birthday cake like him when I was a kid, and getting a chance to actually be in the ring and wrestle in front of a giant armory. Yeah, I wrestled in an army out of Worcester, Massachusetts, in front of a couple of thousand people, and against one of my heroes growing up as a kid was really, really cool. And
I guess you'd say that's like one of the more defining moments.
I was
that you got to experience.
Yeah, it was the league we worked for. We actually did some in studio like interview segments to help build it up for the local crowd on the local access TV station, and I got a chance to I got the chance to mess this guy up who pretended to be his nephew, and I bit the head off of one of his action figures and spit it on the guy and threw it on his body and walked off the set. But it was just so cool to be able to be there and be across and stand across the ring from a guy who, you had the action figure. I had the action figure. I had, the birthday cake and even the old T-shirt and all that stuff. And, I love larger than life personalities and larger than life characters in wrestling. Yeah. I feel like nowadays half the wrestlers, the people in the crowd are bigger than they are. So it kind of takes away from some of the mystique that it used to have back in the day. If that makes any sense,
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the ambiguity of like, knowing about players, knowing about performers is just kind of evaporated, and like you can know anything in just a second now. There's no mystery to anybody anymore for a lot of things.
I gotta say, I'm really happy with all of the new work that Triple H is doing as the new COO of the company after Vince McMahon sold it and doesn't have his hands on it anymore. And I can truly say that Triple H was actually in my wrestling school class at Killer Kowalski's back when he was terrorizing back in like 1990, 91. When I first started in the school, he was just having his first couple of matches on the independent scene in Massachusetts. So I was lucky enough to actually work with him in the ring and work out with him a lot. And
that's fun.
What an amazing mind for the business Triple H has, man. I'll tell you. It's really cool to see that like the product feels different within the last year or so since he's taken over. I feel bad. I mean, Vince McMahon did a great job for 40 years or plus.
Yeah.
But it seems like he got out of touch in the last few years, and he was burying guys that he shouldn't, and women too. I mean, there's a lot of talented girls and guys who got pushed aside or even released because they didn't fit Vince McMahon's idea of what the product was supposed to be like, and especially with today, you have NXT isn't just a training ground for whatever. It's actually the third brand, and actually those young men and women, some of the stuff that they can do just boggles the human mind from what I've watched just recently over WrestleMania weekend. I caught a lot of the highlights of WrestleMania weekend. I couldn't watch the whole thing. I can't sit through 12 hours worth of that shit. Just too much.
I don't blame you.
But like Cody, seeing Cody Rhodes and John Cena do their thing, and the one guy that I really think is going to be a big time player is Braun Breaker, Rick Steiner's kid. Oh my God, he is out of control. He is really good. He is really good. So
yeah. It's funny you say how it's gaining some new legs. I've talked to one of my friends who's really big into it, and she was agreeing. She's like I've been enjoying it more than I have probably in the past decade. Going back and watching it now, she's like, it's just got a different taste to it, and I like it.
Yeah, they're trying to showcase a lot of newer talent that was just getting pushed down and ignored and just sitting out back eating catering, and it's not good because the wrestling business or the industry in general, I mean, just like any other industry, whether it's MMA or whatever, if you don't have any new up and coming fighters at all, then there's nowhere for the business to go. The industry will cap out, and then there will be no future of any of it. Especially seeing that Endeavor owns all of it now, UFC and WWE, and that power slap crap. I'm sorry, I don't believe in any. I can't stand even watching that stupid shit. I know you gotta be tough to take a good hit across the face, and I'm sure when I was younger I took a couple of slaps across the face from people one way or the other, but I couldn't imagine getting paid to just sit there and have your eyeball knocked out of its socket. So I'm good.
Oh no, yeah. No, I had that come up on my on my YouTube one day. I was like, "What is this?" I was like, "People just sit there and take a slap to the face, like full power. What is happening?"
Yeah, I
Hey
saw a
guys,
clip on.
we got about 2 minutes left.
Okay, cool.
So how can we reach
Yeah.
you guys, and when can you tell us
Oh, yeah.
when we'll be back?
Oh yeah. So we will be back. We should be back next Wednesday at around, I would think, 6 o'clock with Austin Light, doing interview with him regarding his comic book, as well as delving into his like for animation and comic book design. And let me see if I can. Let's get one more question in here before you go.
We got about a minute. So
what was your biggest takeaway from being a part of wrestling during that time? And like what was your greatest takeaway from that?
To be honest, my biggest takeaway was actually gaining confidence in myself and being able to conquer my fears of public speaking, and that's translated to like whether I do podcasts like with you guys here, or whether doing like lectures. Like I have one coming up in September at this big paranormal and horror convention up in Maine that I'm going to be part of, which is going to be a lot of fun. And
Awesome.
yeah, they're basically like conquering my fears and being able to move forward in life, and not be afraid or not be that shy kid sitting in the corner. So
yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah, it's definitely cool.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming out tonight and speaking with me. It was nice getting to meet you, getting to know a little bit about you, and hear about your experience in the industry. And if you'd like, you can let everybody know where to find you on social media and follow you if you'd like.
I have Facebook. Jeremy Cotter is my Facebook page. Yoda Man 1973 is my my Instagram, and also my TikTok too. So I've been working on some new content for that. Hopefully in the upcoming future, I got to figure out how to use that whole thing. I'm being a little bit older, it's kind of hard to navigate all these social platforms.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree.
I appreciate coming on here, guys, and if you want to do it again, I'm more than willing to go, to do it and talk about other things. So
yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely love to have you on again.
All right, I'm gonna
have
drop
a good
down
evening.
and put you in the back, Sean. You as well. Yeah, hang on just a second, Connor.
Yep.
All right, Sean, I'm gonna drop you down too. Okay, we got to sign out. We have another show coming up, but Connor's been great, and welcome to the network. And
thank you.
You can talk with them off screen when we end, but Lee has another show starting. Yeah. So everybody, thanks for coming out. I think it went great,
guys.
Connor.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Feel free to follow me. Drawn to Film is the same tag on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. You can look me up there as well. You guys have a good night. Appreciate you coming out tonight.
All right. Good night.
Night.
Bye.